All right, so I'm picking back up with you. This is the follow-up video for the Alpine 3339 car equalizer that was sent in by Armando. And I have got it all worked out. First, as far as the controller, I went ahead and replaced the lamps and the 4 buttons here. Later on, we'll see this in a darkened room so you can get a real good idea of what that looks like. Of course, we figured out last time there's nothing we can do about the stuck characters in the display. That's just going to be what it is, but still doesn't really detract from the coolness of this equalizer. So when we left off on part 1, basically I'd recapped the power supply and the processor and did get it up and working, replaced the lamps in the backlit LCD portion of that, and we got it working only to find out that we had an intermittent issue where it would pass a signal through, but it wouldn't give us any of the processing effect. And if you left it on long enough, it would kind of finally work. And it was a real intermittent thing, and I wasn't really sure what was going on with it. And so basically, Armando said he had a second processing unit, and so he sent that to me, and it had the exact same power supply problem as the first unit had. And so basically every single cap was bad. Now the one that he sent to me actually had more PCB damage as far as corrosion on the traces, you know, eaten up by the material from the capacitors. But I went ahead and replaced all the capacitors. Basically what I done, this is the board. This is the original board from this unit. And basically what I did was, because the cabinet of the one that he sent, you can see the cabinet from the second one is not in as good a shape as this cabinet is. Basically I took the caps from this one, which was the first one, and transferred them to the board from the second unit. And then after I got that done, I just transferred the whole board after I got it repaired into the cabinet of the first one, because the cabinet looks way better on this one. And I never was able to come up with what was causing the intermittent problem with this one, but I did suspect that it was this IC right here. And I did reflow that IC, only to come up with a unit that's still not only intermittent as far as processing, but now intermittently dead. And so I'm not sure what happened, but there was something wrong in this area. There's some through-hole traces underneath this IC. I can't imagine one of them being damaged because there's no capacitors around here to create an issue. But there was still a problem. So I'm not sure. But luckily for him, he had a second board, and we got that put in. So very cool equalizer. Went ahead and also swapped out the wiring harness. The wiring harness from the one that he sent, all the wires were cut off, and of course we're missing the fuse holder and the line filter. So I unsoldered this one and soldered in the one from the first EQ. So basically we took a combination of 2 units and made one good one. And fortunately for him, he had those parts. So it is doing its thing. Looking real good here. Let's get an idea here of some of the processing. Well, we can turn that up. Let's turn that up a little bit. Very cool equalizer. I'm not sure. I think I might like this one just a little bit better than the Sony one that I did for, I don't recall his name now, but I believe he lived in New Orleans. And it was also a very cool equalizer, but this one is pretty cool as well. Very cool. Let's go ahead and we'll set it up, and we're going to do a final play test on this. And we'll dim the lights in the room so we can get a really good idea of the buttons lit up and the display. And then we're going to wrap this one up. So give me a moment for that, and we'll pick back up.
Rumors spreading round United Texas town about the shack outside the games. And you know what I'm talking about. Just let me know if you wanna go to that home out on the range.
All right, so we're going to pick back up for one final look at our Alpine 3339 car equalizer. And I believe it was Jock who had the Sony XC700. I was trying to remember his name, who lives down in Louisiana. And of these two equalizers, both of them are very appealing to me. The only difference is that when it comes to aesthetics, I think I prefer the green of the Alpine here over the red, white, and blue of the Sony. But if you could take the best of that Sony and the best of this one and combine them into one equalizer, you'd really have something for sure. But either one of these that you might be interested in, they still have an extremely high resale value on eBay. And I would only hope, if I was a person that didn't know anything about this type of electronics or how to repair it, that I would get one after spending that kind of money, that it had the work done to it that we done to this one or the other one. As you can see, the time definitely takes its toll on these, and they do need some work even to get it to the point where it's even functional. So anyway, both very cool equalizers. And I also want to thank Anthony. Appreciate you making the suggestion for the intro of the video for the Zebra. And great old band, Randy Jackson, excellent compositionist, lyricist. And haven't heard them for a while until you made that suggestion. But on our way out, we're going to listen to what Armando recommended. He's obviously a big ZZ Top fan, as well as I am, especially for their older things. So let's check out a little bit of LaGrange on the way out. And as always, I want to thank you guys very much for checking out the video this week, and hope you all had a nice Christmas. And we'll pick back up next week with something different.